When you've experienced a water damage disaster, you probably want to know the cost of repairing it. Although this is a major expense, there are steps you can take to minimize the damage and cut your repair costs. Those steps include removing movable furnishings, mopping up wet water, and drying out affected areas. You should also open cabinets and windows to remove wet draperies. Fortunately, there are several methods you can use to help reduce the cost of water damage restoration. If you have multiple sources of water damage, the cost can go as high as $3,000 to $8,000 per square foot. The costs will vary, but the average repair will be between $1,143 and $4,422 per square foot. Regardless of the cause of your kitchen flooding, the repair process will likely be accompanied by multiple steps to restore your kitchen. You should expect to spend between $1,143 and $4,422 on the total repair cost. Whether the damage is caused by a broken pipe or an overhead leak, you should consider the cost of restoring the area. The cost will vary depending on the type of water damage you have. Typically, the cheapest repairs will be minor, such as sealing the area affected. However, you should keep in mind that even a small drip from a faucet can cause massive damage to your home. Thankfully, there are ways to protect against future water damage. The cost of restoration will depend on the amount of damage and the amount of evaporation. For example, if the damage is minor and only affects a small area, it may cost less than $100. For a larger water damage situation, the cost will increase to $350 or more. Depending on the size of the water damage, it might take a couple of weeks to dry up. When the damage is severe, you may have to replace your kitchen. The cost of restoring a kitchen is usually quite large. Depending on the size of your kitchen, you may have to replace cabinets or the entire kitchen. If the water damage is large, you may need to tear down the entire room. A professional cleaning service will prevent mold growth, which can be extremely costly. If you're in a hurry, hiring a water damage restoration company will save you both money and time. In addition to the cost of repairing the damaged material, the materials that were removed will also need to be replaced. Generally, it is less expensive to replace a carpet than hardwood floors, so the cost will be much lower for the homeowner. If the damage was in the walls and cabinets could be softened or destroyed. This can result in mold growth and other problems. In the end, you'll need to pay for a professional to restore a kitchen. The cost of kitchen water damage restoration can be very high. If you're not prepared, you might end up spending thousands of dollars on the restoration. The price of a water damage restoration will vary, so it's best to plan ahead. For instance, if you've had a leaky pipe, look for the affected areas first to assess how much drywall is damaged. In many cases, water damage can affect the cabinets and walls as well. After a water damage, you'll need to clean up the water and dry the area. You will also need to replace carpets and rugs, which will increase the cost. The final cost of kitchen water damage restoration will depend on the type of water damage. If the damage has occurred in the kitchen, the first step is to clean up the affected area. You must thoroughly remove all of the contaminated materials and prevent the growth of harmful bacteria. Wall repairs are another big expense to consider. A wall repair can cost $300 to $2,200 depending on the type of wall and the extent of the damage. In most cases, this is needed when water leaks from the ceiling or a pipe breaks. In the case of a sink or stove, this type of repair can cost up to 3 to 4 times the initial cost. You'll need to decide which one you'd prefer.